Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
man. Basically, my rule of thumb when it comes to it is this, okay? Because this has happened, okay? There are people who there was this case where this woman was living in a group home, and she was mentally she had mental issues. She had mental issues, but she had enough mental acuity to basically tell her accusers no, but they raped her anyway. And like they were supposed to be her caretakers, and they raped her. Like two different people raped her. And so basically, she told one of her caretakers that where she went to school, and they got the police involved, and two people went to jail. So even though physically she was, 30 some years old, mentally she may have been around 8 or 9, but that doesn't change the fact that you like not only did you rape someone, which is bad enough, even if someone is of a certain age mentally, but then you're raping someone and they have mental issues. I mean, that's particularly egregious. So for me, applying real world topics to a fictitious thing, it boils down to the mentality. So yes, someone may be 10 years old, but age wise, but physically they might be 30 or 40 or whatever. But that doesn't matter because it boils down to what their mental
Stated.
faculties are. So if because they do that in animes a lot. One of my
Hey,
favorite one of my
well, actually, this argument was based upon from Dragon Ball Fighters, where Android 21 revealed uh, revealed to be revealed in one of her dialogues to be less than 10 years old, despite looking like.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, you have to remember something. Dragon Ball is very. How can I put this? Dragon Ball, like, first of all, they're androids. Yes, I know they're biological androids. They're not mechanical like 16, but they're androids. So you can't equate the same level of whatever.
Realism.
Yeah, and not only that, but I'll give Akira Toriyama this much credit: is he doesn't really have weird shit like that in his comics more often than not. In Doctor Slump, which is one of his more popular comics before Dragon Ball became a big thing. Like one of the big running jokes is that Doctor Slump looks like an old man, and he's like his creation is this robot named Earl or Raleigh, and she's all defective. Like she looks like a little girl, but she doesn't have any she has no gender, but she looks like a little girl, like on the head. She has bad eyes, so he gives her glasses. He's like the world's worst inventor. She's got superhuman strength, but it's just really weird. It's really really fucking weird. But I would tell anyone if you get a chance, like you can go and find the manga version of Doctor Slump, or you can find the anime of Doctor Slump. It's a surprisingly brilliant thing. But I mean, my point is this: more or less, they don't really have that. Um, they don't have that issue. The only real perviness you have in Dragon Ball is in Dragon Ball's in Dragon Ball. Well, in the Dragon Ball series is in Dragon Ball where you have Goku basically pull off Bulma's panties, and he's horrified because she doesn't have any balls. Um,
That that
'Cause he-
remind me of that moment because I could imagine how much of a WTF that was for some.
because he slept naked with his grandfather, and like his grandfather was a man, so that was just really weird for him. The hilarious thing is that, like, he hadn't been around female, so he had no concept of what that meant. But like if you read the manga, like Yamcha is peeking through the window while while this is going on, and he basically has a massive hemorrhages from his nose, because that's how they show someone's horny in uh,
In the animation world.
in Japanese anime, which is they show that the blood rushes to their head and they get a nosebleed, which is one of the stupidest ways to show that someone's flustered or aroused.
I mean, is that realistically possible? Is it
I mean, let me put it this way: if you're a man and you're aroused, and every time that happens, you have blood rushing to your head and not someplace else, you need to go see a doctor because there'll be blood flow, but it ain't going to your head. Well, it's going to a head, but not your head.
Thank you very much, Red Fox.
So yeah, before we started, we had a little bit of a tangent. We were talking about some guy who made a video defending pedophilia, which, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much a laissez-faire, anything goes type of person. But there's I only have 3 things that I'm like, that's not cool, and that's the first is pedophilia. I'm not down with pedophilia or rape. Not cool. So before we go any further, who wants to introduce themselves first?
Well, let the lady go first.
How kind of you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this is the BS Busters Midweek Podcast. I'm Joy Moonstar, and they did it again. They can't keep their souls out of the news.
You mean like, what's her name? Britney Spears? Oops, I did it again.
Yeah.
That's the only. I only know like part of that refrain.
I'm going to say that they're toxic and they're going to go under.
And of course we have the other part of this triumvirate.
Hello, this is Piggy Dog from Video Game Facts, and Capcom is once again going back to their old ways again.
Yeah, they can't stop, won't stop fucking up. And of course, me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Buster. So let's get into it. So let's get to the news. So Capcom, as we know, is starting to put games on the Switch. And like we already knew, they were going to port these games piece by piece, more or less, to the system and charge Switch gamers $30 a pop. Now, I guarantee these aren't new builds of these games. These are just Xbox 360 ports. And they're basically charging $30 a pop for these games. Now, my problem is, like, wouldn't it make more
$30 when they were actually lower priced on other systems?
Piece. They aren't doing the collection. Like, if they were doing the Resident Evil collection, right? And they said, here, it's the Resident Evil collection. And they said, we've optimized this to run on the Switch, and it's going to be $50 or $60. I wouldn't say anything, because I'd say, okay, they optimized it to run on the Switch, and you're getting like 5 games, 4 or 5 games for $60. That's a steal, really, especially when they've been optimized. But they couldn't even do that. They're going to charge a piecemeal $30 a piece. This is why people don't like Capcom. Especially when you can get these games cheaper on other, like you can get the physical version of both of these collections for the PS4 or the Xbox One or even PC, or not physically on PC. You can get them on PC for like $20 or less, and you can get them physically for the Xbox One or the PS4 for $20 or less. But they want to charge Nintendo gamers $30 a fucking piece, which is
for one game.
Yeah.
Beep.
That's some bullshit right there. That's
well, that's not exactly what I'm bragging about.
Oh, it's something more than that?
Well, it was recently, someone recently tweeted about, in regards to Capcom, saying that they have no plans on releasing Devil May Cry 2 or 3 onto Switch in the future.
Okay.
And this has ticked off a lot of DMC fans, because they were hoping that they were going to re-release the rest of the games onto Switch.
I mean, here's what I'm gonna say. All right.
If the first game becomes sells well.
Here's what I'm going to say about that, all right? I am not really angry about that. The reason I'm not angry about that is because DMC aside from that weird Beautiful Joe engine remake of DMC that was on the GameCube, DMC by and large has been on the PlayStation console. It would be really weird for a franchise that was built up on the PlayStation to all of a sudden go to
the
a
Switch.
console. That's kind of weird. Unless, you know, and here's the thing. It's not like DMC when it came out on the PS2 was a failure or, you know, whatever. Like, it pretty much grew up on the PS2 and then it kind of had a misstep during the PS3 era because the fans were angry about the DMC reboot, and then they went back to the thing on back to basics with DMC 5. So, I mean, I think that like if you're a fan of DMC and you only own a Switch, you're not really a fan of DMC because like if you want to play DMC, you have to have a PlayStation console. I mean, you know, it's like getting mad at Mortal Kombat because they don't at NetherRealm because they won't port, you know, some of their harder core games to you know, it's like me getting mad at 2K because they won't put GTA 5 on the Switch. Like, if I want to play a GTA game,
yeah,
like why would I expect it to be on the Switch? That makes no sense. I mean, it would be nice if it came to the system, but I'm not like, oh my God, it didn't come to the system. I'm pissed. So, I think some people are. I think there's a difference between legitimate outrage and people just wanting shit to cater just to them. Because I mean, for Capcom, yes, the Switch is selling a lot right now, but like, it outsold the PS4 in Japan, which isn't that great of a feat because the PS4 in Japan's only sold like 8 million. But here's the thing, all right. Despite all of that, like the bigger market for DMC is on the PlayStation. So, I mean, like it's not worth Capcom's time or energy or money to port all those DMC games, you know, to go all in on something that may or may not, you know, make them a lot of money. What do you guys think about it? I mean, am I being? I mean, are these? I mean, is this a legit concern or is it just, you know, Capcom being in regards to DMC?
I'm trying not to face palm because Capcom could be doing a lot more than this. I mean, if anything, they could have brought a different RP. I mean, a different IP that could have raked in the gamers and wouldn't be as well diversive.
I mean, this could have been mitigated if they had just done a DMC HD collection and just brought it to the Switch.
I mean, they could have did a collection. They could have brought some of their older fighting games.
Yeah, they could have charged more money for it. They could have said the DMC HD collection, and it's 4 games plus the DMC reboot, so 5, and it's $60. I think people, and if they just said, yeah, and we're gonna have a physical edition that's $90, and you get a statue of Dante, or not Dante, because people are gonna want a specific of Sparta, because Sparta's the same. Sparta looks the same in every damn game. So there you go. There's your money. All right. Like Capcom just makes some bad business decisions repeatedly over and over again. I'm not sure why. Oh,
and they're also still not giving up on the mobile gaming division, on their mobile division, because they also announced Sengoku Basara Battle Party for smartphones.
Sengoku Basara. That game hasn't really been a thing for a while.
Yeah, and they announced a new title for it for smartphones, and fan reception in Japan were negative.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, like I said, personally, I would rather, like, personally, I'm not like enthralled with the concept of certain things. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, it has to be this way. But I mean, like, I wish it were better, but if it isn't, oh well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is, you know.
See some other gaming news. Apparently, SNK is gonna allow early adopters of Samurai Showdown to get the season pass for free until June 30th.
Damn, then I might have to get this game.
It comes out on June 25th.
I might have to get it. Because I do like Samurai Showdown. And well, frankly speaking, it's been a while since I've played one. So, and the fact that they're giving you all of that content for a ridiculously low amount of money means it's totally worth it. So, any other news you guys want to cover before we get to the main topics?
I'm gonna say that,
topics, but I'm gonna let you guys go first.
I got something though. If anything, you probably heard me groan about it because I said they cannot keep their mouths out of the words of people's mouths. Epic is sponsoring the PC gaming systems for E3 this year.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think Valve would want to get in on that, but it doesn't matter. Like, at this point, I don't even care.
And Discord is interested in bringing their servers onto the Switch, but need Nintendo's blessing to do so.
Of course they do.
And to which I say, do it.
Here are my thoughts about the whole thing. I find Nintendo's online right now, taking away the online thing, and the Nintendo, their online games and all that stuff. Like, it's virtually identical to what it was before you started paying for it, and I find that no one that I know of who plays the Nintendo's gaming system, no one that I know of uses the voice chat app on the phone that you can download on your phone. So, I mean, there might be someone who uses it, but I haven't used it with anybody, and I've played it. Like, I mean, I've tried, but it's just, it kind of just doesn't really work.
It's complex.
No, it's kind of shitty. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it seems like it would be almost better to just like use your own voice chat system rather than what they want you to use.
But people keep on saying Nintendo needs voice chat. I'm not even gonna say how many.
Like, I almost feel like they should have just been like, look, because it seems like it was better when you weren't paying, when it was shitty and you weren't paying for it. It didn't bother me because you weren't paying for it. But now that they're starting to charge people for it, now full disclosure here, I get my online my Nintendo Online. I pay for it through Twitch Prime, which I get for free because I have Amazon Prime. So I'm not paying for it either. Yeah, because I'm smart with my money, and I'm not gonna give. Why should I pay for a shitty online service?
You'll be paying. I can tell.
Look, when they start charging for it and it's not covered by Twitch Prime, I'll cancel it. Just like I wasn't paying for it when before this business opportunity fell into my hands.
Yep.
I'm not really playing. I'm like, I play no games online. None. The one game that I really wanted that I got on the Switch that has an online component, I bought on PC because I didn't want to pay online, which was the Capcom Arcade Collection, which had Final Fight and all those, 2D side-scrolling beat-em-ups. So, I mean, like, but I mean, at the end of the day, Discord is a better service, and I mean, like, but I would be hesitant to use it on the Switch if I have to pay for Nintendo's online service that I'm already leveraging through Discord anyway, which is kind of weird. So, I mean, I hope Discord can get on there because it'll give people other options, which is good for the market. But I mean, if the infrastructure isn't going to get any better, or they're not going to incentivize you actually using it, then I don't see what's the point. And I know some people are loving Tetris 99 and loving the Nintendo online services where you can play those old ass games. Some of which are hacked, which is kind of cool, but that doesn't really do it for me. So, whatever. I have a little bit of news that I put up because I thought it was ridiculous. Square Enix's Project Prelude Rune. You know that game that Hideo Baba, the guy who used to be in charge of the Tales, Namco Bandai's Tales series?
Yeah.
It got canceled. It got canceled, and the team was reassigned. Now, here's the thing. Okay, Hideo Baba, in my opinion, kind of ruined the Tales series. In my opinion, like basically, like the Tales series used to be good, and like it kind of reached its plateau during the 6th gen with your Tales of Symphonia, your Tales of
Vesperia.
Yeah, Tales of Vesperia, and then it kind of went downhill after that because basically it just like they started recycling engines over and over and over again with no.
And while recycling some things is good,
yeah,
I said recycling some things. Other times you might want to start off something fresh.
Well, they were recycling engines, and not only were they recycling engines, typically speaking, recycling an engine is good because then you don't have to do like, okay, the next Legend of Zelda, if they're using the same engine as Breath of the Wild, could have a lot more content because they already have the engine. They don't have to spend time trying to get that physics engine to work. They just got it. They got that down. So now all they have to do is just add content and how to utilize that engine in new and interesting ways. Kind of like how Majora's Mask, even though technically it had less content, was able to do a lot more stuff with that engine because it already had the engine. They just had to, think of new ways to use it. Well, like the Tales games under Hideo Baba went backwards in that regard because like they had this awesome engine that was great for the fighting was great, but then you get like past the fighting, it's like this game kind of sucks. I remember playing Tales of Xillia 1 and 2, and literally in Tales of Xillia 1 and 2, you would legitimately like one of the hallmarks of Tales games is that like you leave a city and you're in this massive open world map, right? You go from point A to point B, run into monsters, have fight. Tales of Xillia got rid of that. You just moved from little small screen to little small screen to little small screen. Fighting enemies, the fights were great. And I mean, to be fair, in RPGs, you're going to spend 60, 70, 80% of your time fighting. So you know, the fight engine has to be pretty good in a Tales game, but it was just very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. And it just got consistently worse. The stories got more insipid, the characters got more insipid. The story, the character, the stories they were trying to tell got more telegraphed. It was terrifying. Because I mean, you know, the strength of an RPG is its story, and if you can literally within the first 5 minutes of a game, you see the general characters and you know exactly where the story is going to go, that's not good. But then he left, and we got ports of games that used to be exclusive to Xbox or PS3 and PS2. Sadly, we still haven't gotten a good GameCube port of Tales of Symphonia, which is the superior version of that game. Is the GameCube version, not the PS2 version. They keep on porting the shitty PS2 version, which is bad. So,
and mind you, Baba also thinks that the PlayStation platform is the true home for Tales of series.
I mean, he can think whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't work at Namco Bandai anymore, so, you know, everyone's entitled. Look, you can think that the Earth is flat. Doesn't mean it's true, but you can. I mean, you know. Here's what I'll say about the Tales series. Tales of Fantasia, which is the first game of the series, was on the SNES in Japan, so the Super Famicom. Tales of Symphonia. Like I think there were multiple. There was like Tales of Destiny on the PS1, but that game didn't sell all that well. Tales of Destiny 2 didn't sell all that well. Tales of Symphonia, which was an exclusive to the GameCube, sold relatively well. Then they ported over to the PS2. It didn't sell nearly as well as the GameCube one, because basically the GameCube had a small library of RPGs, so any RPG that was quality would stand out. Whereas an RPG on the PS2, which had a glut of fucking RPGs, didn't really stand out that well, so it flopped. Then there was like 2 or 3 Tales games. Well, there's Tales of the Abyss, which some people love that Tales game. I think it's ass because the main character is just fucking annoying. Then there was Tales of Tales of Legends. It was like a really bad Tales game for the PS2. I played like 3 or 4 of them on the PS2, and like 2 of them, like Tales of Symphonia is okay. Tales of Graces, which was on the Wii, which they ported over to the PlayStation 3 in America, and it didn't sell all that well. I mean, basically, the Tales games on the PlayStation have sold middling to poorly. Not because they aren't good or they didn't have quality until the 8th gen with the PS4 and the 7th gen with the PS3, but because basically Sony had so many RPGs that it was like they would get lost in the shuffle. So, I mean, Hideo Baba, like I said, he can think whatever the fuck he wants, but the Tales series did not do as well as it could have under him with his, fanboyism peppering his business decisions.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, you know, when you let your fanboyism pepper your business decisions, that's when you fuck up, you know. And I mean, you know, they say he resigned. He left to do his own thing. You know, they may have, because in Japan they really don't fire people that often. They could have came in there and said, "Look, either you leave or we'll fire your ass." And he was, you know, he was invited to resign. Because, like I said, the Tales series had been going down a bit under Baba. It wasn't selling as well or getting as much prestige as it, you know, could have. And it should, because, I mean, Final Fantasy.
It's a legendary series of sorts. Right next to Final Fantasy, right?
It hasn't been doing shit. So, Like, I mean, you know, like, okay, right now it's like if the Marvel movies had been flopping, okay, with the DC movies as bad as they had been for a while, right? It would be weird if the Marvel movies had been flopping, you know. The only real competition was fucking up so badly. It's like, well, by default, you should be making money. So, I mean, you know,
which is odd.
Yeah, that's basically what was happening with the Tales series. So Hideo Baba had to go, and they needed new shit. Hopefully, whoever is in charge of the Tales series right now has been doing good because they ported games that used to be. This is only going to be on the Xbox. This is only going to be on the PlayStation. They're putting it on PC. I hope they bring in other platforms. I hope they bring Tales of Graces, which Tales of Graces I have it on the PS3. It is a astonishingly good game. Or at least the combat system is really good. The story is a little telegraphed out. Well, it's telegraphed out, but you know, the combat system is pretty good though. Like it's a Tales game where instead of you using MP for special attacks, everything just chains together. So basically, you just literally just keep on attacking, and your next chain links up with that attack, which links up with that attack. So you use directional inputs. It's actually pretty good battle system. It's a lot more intuitive than previous one. So that was a Hideo Baba.
The only other thing that we probably got left would be what just happened about an hour back, or about 2 hours back.
What?
The only other thing that we probably could talk about real quick would be what happened 2 hours back.
Mario Maker 2? The Mario Maker 2 direct? I mean...
We could discuss it in a Saturday podcast if we want.
We can cover it now, because Saturday, I think we're going to do our predictions for Nintendo's E3.
Okay.
So, I mean, who wants to go first?
It was cute, short, and it actually has a story mode that kind of makes sense. It makes me say, really, we're going to have to collect coins like New Super Mario Bros. 2 in order to build up Peach's castle. What the beep did Bowser do to her place this time?
I mean, it might explain why Peach's castle is aesthetically different within each Mario title.
It's always being rebuilt. I don't know. I really don't care.
So, seriously, I'm going to say this. I'm actually impressed that they have more options to work with. Like, you can actually have you can have races in the game, do certain challenges, and more, and a few other things. But also do cooperative races, and even do some other stuff.
It seems like they're taking pages from that Super Mario 64 online fan game. That was popular at the time.
Maybe, but if anything, all of it is still in 2D, which is pretty good. Though I heard some people saying that that they should finally go to 3D movement.
I mean, they could do that, but I guarantee you that if they did a 3D Mario Maker, it would be like you wouldn't be playing that game this year. That would be probably next year or the year after.
If they do an add-on, that'll be a great thing.
And it'll need to play more like the 3D Land / 3D World games rather than the traditional 3D Mario games.
I mean, you could do it, but I'm just saying it would be a very expensive proposition. I mean, not expensive. It would be time intensive for them to develop. Whatever. For me, like I said, I said this before the podcast began. Mario Maker is one of those games that you either love it or you hate it. I borrowed my friends for the Wii U, and it was fine, but I mean,
It's not bad, but as I was gonna say, that I fear what people are gonna make for this game.
Oh yeah, there will be dick yellow blocks. I'm telling you, dick yellow blocks, boob yellow blocks, and yellow blocks that look like a part of the female anatomy, and it's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Don't forget Kaizo Mario levels.
You cannot fight it. Oh yeah, There's definitely going to be that.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, there's going to be Kaizo levels. Like I said, if you love Mario Maker, this is for you. If you don't really give a shit about Mario Maker like me, then keep it moving.
I consider a specific taste game.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain games that are for everybody, and then there's certain games where I just don't.
I consider it a brilliant way to expose the gamer's sense of imagination and when it comes to level design.
Not really.
Actually, it could be that, or find somebody that is the most masochist of all and have them create Hades' game in Mario form.
Basically, what gets the thing that gets me about the whole thing is that basically I just don't care. Here's the thing, okay? I can do a lot of creative shit myself and expend energy being creative. But when I play video games, I'm paying, whatever the price is for this game for you, the developer, to make some shit, not for me to make some shit. Like the way I feel about gaming is it's a good and a service, right? It's like if you go to a fine dining establishment. Like for Mother's Day, I took my mom and my girlfriend to Fogo de Chao, which is this awesome South American grill place where they serve all types of cuts of meat and salads and desserts, and it's delicious, right? And it's like $150 a plate. Okay, very expensive. All right. If I go someplace for that type of experience, I'm not going there so that I can sit down with someone and say, "Hey, come back here and fix. Hey, come back here and fix your own, cook your own food." No, motherfucker, I'm paying you to do it. That's how I feel about my games. Like if I pay $60, $70, $100 for a game, God damn it, you make the game. I'll play through the levels. I'll enjoy it. I'll sing your accolades to the stars. But God damn it, I'm not making this shit. And I don't want to be a test subject for someone else's dishes. So I mean, like for me, the whole allure of create your own levels and play other people's levels, that doesn't really appeal to me. But there are people who that type of shit does appeal to. So good for them. Me, don't care. But other people, it does. So whatever.
It varies.
So the people who enjoy level editors outgrows the group you're a part of.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Because you haven't been visiting these online forums in a while.
That's where you fucked up. Okay. Here's why that assertion is false. Okay. The people who care enough to go to an online website and fill out some shit in order to say their opinions are literally in the minority, because most people don't have time for that shit and don't care to do it. Okay. It's like people who do online surveys. Yes, 100 million people might go to an event, might go to McDonald's, but only a small percentage of that 100 million people are actually going to fill out a fucking online survey. So they're not the majority of people who actually do that. Just statistically, it doesn't make sense. Also,
and you're part of the minority as well.
Statistically, if you look at the millions of people who play video games. And when I say millions, it's actually more than that. The tens of millions of people that play video games, okay? Now, when I say the tens of millions, I'm looking at the base common denominator. I'm talking people who play on their smartphones, people who play on tablets, people who play on laptops and PCs and gaming consoles, okay? If you look at those number of people, it's actually a really small minority that actually play Minecraft and games where you create content, Little Big Planets, shit like that. Now,
are you sure about that? Because Minecraft is the second biggest title.
There is nothing. Just because it's a big title doesn't mean that's the majority of gamers playing that. It just means that it has a large amount. It's kind of like this, okay? What Minecraft is what 30 million? Let's see.
It's the second.
I'm going to use Google. Total estimated.
Almost to be beaten by Tetris.
Total estimated gaming.
Search results.
Total estimated gaming populace. Okay, I'll just use the U.S. because that's what they have. All right. Oh, God. Okay, let's see. Give me hard numbers. Okay, so it's 53.6 million in America. That was in 2016. So that's America. Let's say the law. Let's round that to 54 million because it's 2019 now. And let's say the rule of ceteris paribus, which is, all things being equal. Let's say China's double that because it's fucking China. All right. So let's say 100 million. Let me get my calculator out because I'm insane like that.
Wait, is Minecraft even allowed in China?
Yeah, but when I say gaming, I mean gaming in general. Like the entire population of people playing video games, either on PC, smartphone, tablet, whatever. Because you want to make blanket statements like that. You can't make blanket statements like that. You have to be specific. Let me find my calculator.
Says the guy who makes blanket statements as well.
Yeah, but I don't make blanket statements like that. Okay, let's see. Shit, I have to download a fucking calculator thing. No, I don't have to. I have a calculator on my PC. Okay, calculator. So in America, we have 54 million. 54 million. So let's see here. 54 million. Let's see. Plus, let's double that for China because they fucking have smartphones all over the place around there. Let's say 100 million for China. Plus, let's say 70 million if we include the UK and Europe. All right. Now, let's compare that to the amount of people playing Minecraft.
Keep in mind that this is going to be a portion of people that are in total that are supposed to be playing Minecraft. So if anything, I would give this to at least 5 million as generous.
No, Minecraft has 91 million monthly players. All right.
9 million?
Yeah, 91 million. But here's the rub, okay? All right.
I would say constantly online. That would probably be my shot.
Well, no. Minecraft, 91 million people, 91 million monthly players. Now you have to factor in that of that 91 million, about let's say about half of those are people who are also playing the mobile version. Of that half, okay, of that half of the 91 million, all right, half of those are probably people playing, you know, the mobile version. Of that 91 million that are playing it, you have to factor in, let's see, divide that, let's see.
Are you trying to compare it to the total population of humans living
No,
on?
no, I'm not. I'm dividing it by by half, because you're looking at you gotta factor in the people who are fucking playing who it's the same. They're fudging the numbers because they're saying 91 million, but a lot of those are people who literally love Minecraft so much that they're playing it on their PC, then they play it on their tablet, and then when they're on the train, they're playing it on their smartphone. So it's like,
as in account users, right?
yeah, it's multiple account users, and there are people who play Minecraft like that. So, you know, I'm not saying that, oh my God, that's all 91 million people, because I mean, you kind of have to have somewhat of a beefy PC in order to play Minecraft, and Minecraft Mobile Edition is not what I would call the best version to play. All right. Not even close. Let's see, 91 million. Times 0.5. So I mean, basically, right there, that's 45. Let's I'm gonna round that up to 46 million. So 46 million right there, and those are like the most hardcore Minecraft players. These are the people who play that shit, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you've got like 100. You got fucking that's only like a quarter of the amount of people who are actually gaming. And
I'm actually surprised that my number was near close.
I'm being conservative with that number, because I didn't count Africa, I didn't count Japan, which I should have. I didn't count Singapore, Taiwan, Northern Korea. Of all the millions of people who are gaming, okay, the millions of people, only about 50 million are playing Minecraft, which is that's a large number. That's a large number. The majority of people, hell no.
I mean, if anything, I watch somebody play Minecraft, and I'm not one.
Oh, well, no, I take that back. Minecraft has come to China, and it's now 150 million. Okay, and that was in October 2018, so it's probably gone up to that. It's probably gone up, but still, you're looking at maybe 500 million people at any given time playing video games. That's still not the majority of people playing Minecraft. So don't make a blanket statement like that. Oh, it's the majority. No, it's not. It's a large number, not the majority.
I mean, if you said a portion, that would be more correct.
I mean, to be fair, China is a bigger indicator of the gaming populace, because fucking China is a bigger gaming market right now, but still not the majority. Let's see here. Nope. Anyway, let's see. What other news do we have? No, that's it. I got nothing. But no, I don't particularly like. I don't think a lot of people want to do that. I don't think that's the biggest market available. I don't think that it needs to. There are people who really want to create their own games and want to use their own engines, and for those people, good for them, but doesn't do shit for me.
Yeah, as I said, there is a specialization market that you should look into for certain things. I mean, if anything, I could bet your Red Fox is not into card games.
I mean, I am into certain games, but not.
I mean, the only ones I guess that he might be into, if any, would probably be blackjack, poker, and
I do like blackjack
cards.
and poker. I don't like Texas Hold'em.
Wow, I kind of called it.
I don't like Texas Hold'em. I like 5-card stud. I know some people are going to get mad because everyone likes that new shit, but I like old school poker.
Funny, same here.
I never tried out poker.
You should. It's a good game.
It's a game that has you determine what kind of hand that you want and hopefully get a better hand.
It's tough though. It's especially if you're playing people who are good at bluffing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm terrible. Well, I'm not terrible at bluffing.
If anything, the best you can hope for usually is to get anywhere on scoring would be getting pairs or a 3 of a kind.
No, you can do better than that. It's just the thing is.
I know. I was saying that you're most likely going to get either a pair or a 3 of a kind.
Yeah, it takes a lot. In order to get really good at poker, you have to learn how to be able to tell tells and stuff like that. But I love it.
Yeah,
I love poker. It's one of my personal favorite titles, but not for everybody.
Yeah. So as I was saying that for poker, that half of the game is basically trying to guess what your cards are going to be and hope that you get something good, while the other half is basically trying to say to your opposition that I got the best hand.
Yeah, you got to fake people out. That's why I do the laugh bluff where I'm like, even when I've got shit, I'll just. And they can't tell. They think, yeah, he must have a good hand. No, I don't. I have shit. But they don't know that.
I'm more in the blackjack myself.
I like blackjack.
I mean, it's press your luck meets a casino every time. And personally, I think that's one of the safer casino games around.
Blackjack? Blackjack isn't terrible, but
I would say it's one of the safer casino games around.
My favorite casino game, I like Baccarat and Roulette. Yeah, I know. How dare I like Roulette? But
I was going to say, Roulette's more risky than blackjack, you know.
It is, but it's fun.
At least you can understand why I'm more of the safe bet kind.
And sincerely hope you don't play those for gambling purposes.
I mean, I have gambled, but I'm not like those people who get so addicted that they can't do anything. My rule of thumb when it comes to gambling is this. basically my rule of thumb is like I have a certain amount of money. Once that money is gone, I'm done.
Tap out.
Like I'll spend I'll have like $200 and I'll spend $200, and once that $200 is gone, I'm done. Like I'm not spending anymore. And that's basically how I gamble. Like some people, like the problem with a lot of people is that they don't know when to stop. They'll just keep on gambling over and over. Like, well, I can make it back. I can make it back. And that served me well because I've gone gambling at casinos like 6 times, and I've actually made more money than I lost. And the reason I was able to do that is because basically, if I have $200, I gamble it, and if it's gone, it's gone. If I win, I quit, and then I go do something else. Like the last time I went to the casino I went to Atlantic City about a year ago, and I played blackjack and poker, and I won. Like I had a $200. At one point, I was down to 75, and then I made it back to like 375, and then I quit. I'm like, I'm done. You know. I'm done. So I wound up making $175 because I knew when to quit. But because I know I'm a fat guy. I like to eat sugary sweet drinks. I like to play video games. That's addictive. Like I know I have addictive traits in my personality, but I also know how to control it and cut it off. So that's what I do. I cut that shit off. Because I mean, why, because, I mean, the house is going to win. They're going to make their money.
Yep. So it won't be on your coin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to get their money anyway. I'm not going to give them extra money. I mean, why should I give those people extra money?
Only if they're giving you something in return.
Although I will say this much, I went on a cruise 2 years ago for Christmas with my girlfriend, and there was a casino in the middle of the cruise ship. Like you could go and just gamble your ass off. You should have seen the amount of people. Like you get on the bus, they're all happy. They get on the boat, they're all happy and smiling and jovial. They get off the bus, they lost all their money at that damn casino.
You probably had a great laugh seeing those people.
I did. And people say you shouldn't laugh at someone else's misfortune, but fuck them. Because, look, listen. If you're at a casino,
only if they're jerks and they get misfortune, I would laugh. If
you're at a casino, people are there to make money. Like everything about a casino is there to make money. They're not there to be your friends. They're not there to make you wealthy. They're there to get paid.
They're there to use a vacuum on your pocket and try to get all that you can from it.
So I stay away from it. I don't gamble. I mean, I do, but it's like, there's certain places where I won't go. But here's what I was going to tell you. That's how I found out Konami was into pachinko, because all you saw on the sides, like leading up to the casino, nothing but Konami pachinko machines. Like,
question.
Pachinko.
I was going to say, where did you see these? On that cruise ship?
Yeah, on the cruise ship. Yeah, you
oh my
basically
God.
In the middle of on the middle level of the cruise ship, not the biggest middle level, but the biggest level was the Galleria level on the 7th level, but on the 5th and 6th level, you had this 2-story like floating casino in the thing, and they had like a Texas Hold'em tournament with like real professional Texas Hold'em people playing Texas Hold'em there. But while they were there, they also had a pool tournament, which I watched. That's why I was in the casino. And so I'm watching pool, but between breaks, I would go walk the casino, go get something to eat. And while I was there, I'm waiting for like something to come up, and I'm sitting down at this table, and I look across, and I see row after row of pachinko machines, and guess who was the manufacturer of these pachinko machines? Konami.
I was about to say, fuck Konami.
Yeah. And guess what IPs were utilized in these in these pachinko machines?
Castlevania or Metal Gear?
Castlevania,
and Silent Hill.
Castlevania, Goemon, because Goemon throws Rio at people, which is Japanese coins. It's just, fuck. There's a reason. I'm very, I'm not enthralled with Konami anymore, and this is one of them.
Huh.
They fed the shit out of me on the boat. I got the all you can drink package. So basically, the all you can drink package is where literally you pay an upcharge of like $50 or $60, and you can drink as much alcohol as you want. No limit.
Hopefully you weren't seeing stars when you finished all that drinking.
Well, it's not just alcohol; it's premium drinks. So, like non-alcoholic daiquiris, strawberry milkshakes. Basically, if you go on a cruise, they will feed the shit out of you. Literally, it's almost like someone will knock on your suite door at 12 o'clock at night. It's like, hey, man, me and my girlfriend are trying to have some private time. I got a sandwich. Okay. They give you a lot of fun. They feed your ass till you almost about to blow up.
Well, if they're wanting to get your money, they at least they try to do it with some kindness.
You want to get paid? Personally, I like it. But anyway, yeah. And they also had an arcade on the ship, like a legit arcade with really good with games I'd never heard of, because they had shit from like China and the Philippines that I'd never heard of. They had a Dynasty Warriors Final Fight knockoff. No, seriously, it was a Dynasty Warrior. It was like Dynasty Warriors, except instead of it being like a Dynasty Warriors game where you beat up tons of people, it's like you're hacking and slashing in a field. It was like a Final Fight game, except it was like Dynasty Warriors characters. So it's like Lu Bu, Guan Yu, Cao Pi. I was like, God damn, this is insane. I asked the guy who maintained that area, I'm like, man, where'd you get this? He's like, man, I don't know where they picked this shit up, because I was like, I might buy this machine. It's so badass. What else? They had a comedy show. I got to see an awesome comedian tell some really raw jokes, and it was great.
Oh boy.
Everyone should watch an R-rated comedian.
Trust me, they will rip somebody a new one every time.
Yeah. I like those R-rated comedians, because sometimes you gotta laugh.
Yeah, I agree. It's just as I said, be ready in case they aim at you with the jokes, because some of them get pretty intense.
I don't know. This dude told this really funny joke where he was like, it was a joke about Trump supporters, and it was just really, really funny. And I'm not
say that for after the podcast, buddy.
I'm not gonna repeat it, but it was hilarious. But let's see. Do we have any other? Oh shit! No, we got to get to the lists. The lists.
Yeah, the 5. There's 5 games that all of us have in mind that would either be in need of a reshot or a new installment.
That's right, and we also
didn't we already discussed that last week?
No, and we also have games that we feel that games or a game that are secretly brilliant. Now, what we mean by secretly brilliant is like the game might seem shallow at first, but then as you play it, you realize, damn, this game's way deeper than it has any business being. What inspired me with this topic was that I was playing Hawaii Shakedown, and the game is secretly brilliant. It's literally secretly brilliant. Like at first when you see the game, you think, oh, this is just a little shitty GTA knockoff, It's like a 16-bit GTA. But then you play it and you realize, oh wait, no, this is making fun of common gamer culture. this is making fun of consumer culture that we live in. It's ridiculous, and I love it. Like it's ironic that a game that's $10 has all this shit where it's about nickel and diming consumers in order to get more money from them. It's amazing. It's secretly brilliant. So who wants to go first with their secretly brilliant game?
It's a little. I'm not sure about this entirely, but in a sense, I would say Kirby Superstar Ultra, in a sense, because it basically gives you the simple basics of what Kirby is into, and then it gets into the hard part with trying to do certain things, and well, even giving you the help of the hero mode, trying to discover how good you are with certain powers.
Fair enough.
As for me, I had to go with Super Mario Maker because, as I said before, it pretty much exposes the player's talent and level design. Because if they are one of those people who complain about Mario games being too easy, and then when they make their own levels being too hard to complete, it pretty much shows that they have little or no knowledge of actual game design.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, because that was my major complaint with Mario Maker is that these people were all like, they were like, yeah, Mario is these Mario games. Like the Mario games are brilliant because basically, if you play a 2D Mario game or even a 3D Mario game after Mario 64, like basically every 2D Mario game starts out with you doing some easy shit, you know. And with each new area, they introduce more advanced concepts. So by the end of the game, you're doing shit that if you took a picture of yourself doing that shit at the end of a Mario game, like especially like during the Star Road areas, and then you look at yourself at the beginning of the game, you would have said, that's insane that I can do that shit at the end of a Mario game. And that's a level of difficulty that's a difficulty curve that you just don't see in you don't see that
made levels, right?
You don't see that in a lot of games. Like no Sonic game has a difficulty curve like that. Like Sonic games have a very spiky difficulty curve. Pun intended. It's like it's like it starts out easy and then it jags up and then it starts out easy again, jags up again. You play other platformers, they kind of go that way too. But Nintendo has really hit that sweet spot in how to basically gently kind of ease you into a game with the easy kind of difficulty curve, and then oh shit, and then by the end of the game, I mean they do that even with Zelda games. I mean, play Breath of the Wild. Like the beginning of Breath of the Wild kind of takes it easy, but then at the end of the game, when you start facing those tougher enemies and you start kicking their ass, and you're like, damn, I couldn't imagine myself doing this shit early on in this game. I mean, you could because of the nature of the game, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, as in they build you up into doing certain epic moves. And if anything, you can always go back to some levels to refresh yourself, which is a good thing when you haven't played for a while and needs a refresher with easier levels from the series.
Yeah. Okay then. So we've got one last thing left to do. One last thing left to do. Which is our list of games that like they need to be revamped, they need to be remade back into something badass, but people aren't really
Thinking about it?
well, I mean, the game, like, basically, this is a reboot or a new installment. So these are games that basically they came out and they just weren't really what they could have been. So, who wants to go first? I'll go last since
Let's see. I was thinking either Street Fighter or Metroid.
2D Metroid or 3D Metroid?
2D Metroid, because I mean, Metroid Fusion is the last game in the time according to the official timeline. and they have yet to make a follow-up, which gives the implication that this might be the conclusion to the series. So they cannot keep making interquels forever. So they have to reboot the entire series completely in a new timeline. Same thing with Street Fighter. Since the roster is a revolving door with veteran characters coming and going depending on the story. So the only thing they can do now, without this being much of a problem, is to reboot the entire story completely.
Yeah, actually, I know what they could do. They could go into the future, like say 50 years in the future. And so like Ryu, if he's still alive, he's an old ass man. He can't do shit. He's not even in as good a shape as Goku. Oh, aka Shenlong. He's an old man with a cane. He can't do shit. So everyone's old and decrepit or dead. And then you just start from scratch. It's like it's a new Street Fighter tournament, except it would be. I'll tell you what would be a twist. Ryu is now the villain. Like he's pulling an invite. He's like, I'm old, but I still want to fight. So I'm gonna get these people to come, and the best fighter, I'm gonna steal his body and implant my mind into his body. And now
you're gonna make Ryu and Bison.
I thought you were gonna go to the evil Ryu route.
No, it makes perfect sense for Ryu because I mean, let's not forget Ryu. If you read the officially sanctioned Capcom mangas, Ryu's personality is he's kind of an asshole who just likes to fight. That's his big thing. He just like hot women. No, I don't want to be around hot women. He hang out with his best friend Ken. No, fuck that. I want to fight. So it would kind of make sense if you have an old ass Ryu whose body's failed him, years of getting into fights and beating up cars. Years of channeling Hado just to fucked up his body. He's all jacked up and shit. So he's like, yo, look, I still have some fight left to give. And Capcom could actually utilize characters from future versions of their game. So they could have Captain Commando. It would make perfect sense because it's in the future. They could have Rad Spencer from Bionic Commando.
And they'll have Strider Hiryu.
Yeah, they could have Strider Hiryu. And you could even bring back old characters, but you just call them clones, like clones that were frozen on ice. So you could have like a cloned Guy, a cloned Cody, Alpha Cody, a cloned Mike Hager. But they aren't the same, so it'd be slightly different. So like Cody would have like brown hair or some shit like that. Yeah, that could work. That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. If Capcom did this, just don't have all those damn isms that are just really annoying and super bars and all that shit.
I was about to say, you remember what happened with Street Fighter 3, don't you? Or is it? I was trying to remember because some of the versions of Street Fighter really were confusing.
No, I'm just saying. I want it to be slightly different. I want some new stuff.
Well, there's only so much one could do with certain power bars.
I mean, I'm not insane about the idea. I just think that
keep it simple.
Yeah. I think the flaw of Street Fighter now is that it's so complicated to pull off moves, and they have different isms and super bars and all that shit. Like Street Fighter, the brilliance of Street Fighter 2, which is when the series got popular, was that it basically anyone could pick it up and play it, you know. Whereas Street Fighter now is not as easy to pull off, you know.
Yeah. Quick side note for some people: ease doesn't mean that accessible, as in if it's easy to pull off, then it's hard. Then it's hard. Then it's easier for people to get access to the game in a sense. It doesn't mean that the depth is there, as in well, if a game is so huge but only got about a foot in depth, well, you get the picture, right?
Yeah, I mean the only reason I say Street Fighter 2 is was accessible, and was because basically they had a character for everybody, whatever your skill level. Like if you didn't know any of the fatalities, they had Dhalsim, because Dhalsim's insane reach just made him cheap and easy for new players, right? If you had some experience but you weren't super familiar, you had Ryu, who basically was like, oh, you know, everyone could do a Hadouken or his hurricane kick, anything like that, right? And then for more complicated characters, what?
I was going to say, for the more asshole-ish characters, I mean, for asshole-ish players, we got Akuma and Bison.
This is Street Fighter 2. This is before Akuma. So you had Bison, who was cheap because he had that slide kick, which is so cheap that even in Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, he does that cheap ass slide kick against Ryu. Because it's cheap. Everyone knows that move is cheap.
I said Akuma and then Bison, since they were both introduced in Street Fighter 2, but
and Vega, that bastard.
Oh God! Don't remind me of him.
With that long ass reach and that slide kick that he had. So, are you done with your 5 games?
Yeah. Pete? Wait, 5 games?
Yeah, 5 games. Or if you don't want to go 5 games, I can do.
Let's see. I already listed out Metroid and Street Fighter. Let's see which other games that need a reboot or revamp. I still want to go with Cheetah Men, just so I want to give them another shot.
Cheese.
I mean, if PUBG the Bobcat can be resurrected, why not the Cheetah Men?
Cheetah Men.
I think the two of us, I think me and Reg would be in agreement for saying the following: that the Cheetah Men had their chance and they blew it still.
You know what? No. You know what? I will reevaluate that. The Cheetah Men can come back, but the only way the Cheetah Men can come back is if they're in a game with Bubsy.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that could work. Cheetah Men and Bubsy, and we'll add Arrow the Acrobat in just for kicks.
That's a crossover.
We'll call it Failed 2D Mascots, the game. Second chance, but they'd actually have to be good. The game I can't put Zero, because Zero is actually, those 2 games are actually pretty good. Arrow the Acrobat is pretty good. So I'll go with Cheetah Men and Bubsy. Yeah, that could work.
Let's see, the last 2 games that'll need to be rebooted. I have to think of 2 in the thought of my head.
If you don't got them, let us know and we could drop. After all, I've had my share of drops.
TMNT?
No, not TMNT. can't say Castlevania either because it already had a reboot already.
Oh God, don't mention that game. Please don't ever mention that game.
I'm guessing.
And there goes one of my numbers.
Metal Gear could use a reset button.
Yeah, after Metal Gear Revengeance and all those and that zombie game Survive, that game could definitely deal with a
hard reboot, but of course the difference is it will be without Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be fair. Hideo Kojima is overrated anyway. And I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that. How dare you? I like Hideo Kojima. Look, I know there are certain people who love Hideo Kojima, and I'm not disparaging that, but the man is overrated. All right, I'm not getting angry at your. I'm not talking shit about you liking Hideo Kojima. I'm saying that Hideo Kojima is overrated, in my opinion.
The last game that'll need a reboot, probably Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, I could see that, and maybe Ratchet and Clank too.
Ratchet and Clank already got rebooted to tie in with the movie.
Yeah, but that was just a remake of the first game, which was kind of stupid because the first game is literally like the worst one. Like, why would you do a remake of the first game? It would make more sense to do a remake of Ratchet and Clank 2, or to do a remake of like a Ratchet and Clank trilogy. Like, why remake the first? That was just a really bad decision. It's like Nintendo saying, "Hey, we're gonna remake a Legend of Zelda game, and we're gonna do a remake of the Wand of Gamelon." It's like no one wants to fucking remake a Wand of Gamelon. You know?
Who the Hades thought of that?
I'm just saying, like that's my problem with the remake. So I guess I'll go next.
Actually,
Jewel, you go.
Okay, so if anything, you made me have to cross out one of my own because of one of your call outs.
All right.
It was Castlevania.
All right. Well, that's not on my list, so it's good.
One is Mischief Makers.
I can see that.
Two, and this is probably something that should have been done for some time, the Super Scope 6 series.
Actually, I'd be cool with that. But if they took that game, you know that game that came with the Super Scope, that was like you piloted a mech, or you were shooting at a mech.
I was gonna say that I think that was one of the versus games that you're talking about for.
Yeah, if they made that if they turned that into a game, because you could do it with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, you're right. It's just that if anything, I was remembering how those games ran out. Like there was a missile shoot down game, the pilot shooting game, and what was it? Oh yeah, the turret defense game. That was for the serious side, and for the silly side, we got two Tetrises and the mole shooting game.
Yeah, it's basically whack-a-mole, but with a Super Scope, so that's more badass, I guess.
My third one, and the one I had to think of real quick, would be the Area 51 game, which is another light gun game. My fourth one would be Mario Party, and I'm gonna expect groans from this, but hear me out. Hopefully, we have more to do at least as far as multiple boards, players with different powers. I mean, seriously, if if you can't affect other people that play on the board game, then how you're supposed to be selecting certain characters that all play the same thing?
I would like if they just made it so that characters had like different abilities, because even though the characters look different, they're basically the same.
Yeah, that's how I was saying. I mean, give them powers that they could have on the field that can activate if you do certain dice, or I mean, if you use certain dice rolls or pay a certain number of coins.
Something, even if
Yeah.
even if it's something like, okay, like even if they have like, even if the characters have like a personal ability that they can use, that
I
would be.
know. I mean, that would make the game a lot spicier and a lot more fun.
Oh well.
Yeah. And I'm going to take something from you, Red Fox, I think. Final Fantasy Tactics, but the Advanced series.
All right. I mean, I was just going with Final Fantasy Tactics, period. Like the Advanced series, it doesn't matter. Just
but the odd thing is that I feel like people are going to say that we had the Final Fantasy Tactics world already revamped in a sense. It's called Final Fantasy 12. That's not a tactics game.
Well, I mean, it's Final Fantasy Tactics, the RPG. Like more RPG than tactics, but it's still, an RPG. And it does have some aspects of tactics like side attacks, rear attacks, job classes.
Yeah, but I feel it's more attuned to Final Fantasy, the former RPG, than the RPG it is now.
No, it's more it's Final Fantasy Tactics, the RPG, because it's set in the same universe as Tactics. Like a lot of the gameplay mechanics are very Tactics-esque. Like how you can attack enemies from behind, and how you have rear attacks and stuff like that, and how you can team up and do little like weird ass combos against certain types of enemies. Like it's a tactics game, but it's like Tactics the RPG.
Okay. Well, at least that's my 5.
All right. So
it's a bit quick, but I at least explained most of mine.
All right. So I guess it's my turn. Okay. This is going to be quick because I can knock this out. Okay. So number 1, Lego City. The reason I'm saying Lego City is because Lego City Undercover is a really good game, and I think that the general premise behind Lego City was that Undercover was that your character Chase McCain could wear disguises that gave him new abilities and the ability to blend into the criminal underground in order to solve an overall case. If I was going to do a Lego City 2, like there is another Lego City game on the 3DS, but it's like a prequel. So if I was going to do a sequel to Lego City Undercover, I would do one where Chase McCain is instead of him just being a detective going undercover, he would instead be the sergeant of his own like unit, and you'd like have to recruit characters to be part of this unit. Maybe add a second city to explore. So you have Lego City itself and then another city. And you have to stop the nefarious plans of some eponymous villain named Mr. Big, because, Lego City was full of crime, 80s crime movie and TV show references. So why not continue the trend with, Mr. Big? And plus, you could, if Warner Brothers publishes this game, just whatever they do, please don't use cheap ass coding so that the loading times are lower, please. Number 2, Saints Row. I like Saints Row, but it's time to reboot it because, well, frankly speaking, the last game made by the development studio of the Saints Row series bombed spectacularly. Agents of Mayhem. So my idea for a Saints Row reboot would be just to reboot the entire franchise from the ground up, except keeping the continuity that was done in the original series. So the last game chronologically in the series is Gat Out of Hell, where Johnny Gat and Kenzie Kensington go to hell, rescue their boss, who's the boss of the Saints, and recruit the Devil's daughter to be a member of their crew. And they make a wish, which resets the world. So basically, they could take the mechanics of Agents of Mayhem, where the world has got, where you have characters from Saints Row who are familiar yet different, but the world is familiar yet different. You could do that for a Saints Row reboot, where the only person who realizes that like they were once the president of the United States, and they tried to save humanity from alien invasion, and the Earth was blown up and all that shit. Is the boss who is locked up in a psychiatric ward in a prison, and people think he's crazy. And that's basically how you could have your out for a new Saints Row is your character escapes and you have to regather your crew, but everyone's different yet familiar. You get what I'm saying? A Lufia reboot because Lufia is fucking awesome. What's it called? Square Enix holds the rights to Lufia. I'm just saying, just do another Lufia game. It doesn't have to be a continuation of Lufia 2. It doesn't have to be a reboot of Lufia 2. You could just continue down the same lines as Lufia and the Ruins of Lore. I just want another Lufia game where, maybe add the class system from Lufia and the Ruins of Lore. I want some clever dungeon design. Bring back the ancient cave. All that fun stuff. Number 4 was Final Fantasy Tactics, but so I'm just gonna say I have the same idea as Jewel, except I would have 2 caveats. The first one, I don't care if the game's a little dark, like the original Tactics on the PSP or the PS1. I don't care about that. As a matter of fact, I think that would be kind of cool to play a tactics game that has these cutesy graphics, but has this really fucking dark Game of Thrones storyline. With kids, if you really want to make it really hardcore, like in the 2 tactics games for the Advance and the DS. And then my final game that definitely needs to be rebooted or have another installment is Ogre Battle. Ogre Battle has had multiple games. It started on the SNES, then it went to the N64, then it went to the Wonder Swan, where it died. But I would totally do an Ogre Battle game in the vein of the N64, where you have these no-face little characters on screen, where the only time you see their faces is when they talk. And you see their little character portraits. I would love to see another Ogre Battle, but add more RPG tactics, RPG mechanics, so it becomes kind of like a fusion between Final Fantasy and Ogre Battle in terms of the combat, where, you have the combat where you have like a squadron of soldiers fighting enemies, but you also have side quests where you can go out and do missions and shit like that, and run out bandits and fight dragons and all that type of cool shit. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Anyone want to pimp anything out before we wrap things up?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The writers for the Detective Pikachu movie are thinking of making a Jigglypuff solo film.
That'd be cool.
And if that were to ever happen, I will dub it as Hungry Box the movie. For those of you who don't know, he's a popular Jigglypuff player in the Melee community.
All right. I'd be cool with that. Let's see what else. else? I know this is gonna sound kind of weird, but I actually like. I actually kind of like
some of the ideas.
I actually like Detective Pikachu. I mean, it's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it's not terrible either.
Yeah.
Like I know
it's made for a very niche audience, so it failed to break the video game movie curse.
No, it broke the video game movie curse because it's one of the better video game movies. The only thing that brings it down is that the third act is
not par.
The third act falls apart. That's the downside of the film, is that the third act falls apart. And plus, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's totally unrealistic that that character's father would look like who his father is. Like, it's totally unrealistic. But aside from that, it's a good movie. Let me put it this way: it's better than every other video game movie that's come out in years. All right.
I wouldn't agree. Depend. If it doesn't score high on Rotten Tomatoes, then I would disagree. Because
it's better. Okay,
because when people say they want a good video game based movie, they're asking like something. They want a video game. They're asking for a video game based movie that's not only good but also critically acclaimed and by critics and audiences.
I think the only thing that matters is with a video game movie is that it be, good. Like from what I understand and from what I've seen of it, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good film. I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean,
it's pretty good to Pokemon fans. But what about the critics?
I mean, from what I remember, has it been polling 70-something Rotten Tomatoes?
It's currently 66% on Rotten
Tomatoes. That's still fresh. Did it make money? I mean,
yeah.
Okay, then that's all that matters. It's already doing better than most other video game movies.
But it has to be like at least 80% or higher to be considered critically acclaimed.
Look, man. Listen. This isn't The Godfather. This isn't Imitation Life. You can't expect that level of
quality.
You can't expect that level from a video game movie. Look, from a video game movie, you have to lower you have to lower the qualification. It's kind of like this, right? Like, how in gym, right, they have the really fat kid, right? Like the really fat kid, they're like, okay, we're gonna do 20 laps. The fat kid's like, if the fat kid does 10, it's like, that's amazing. Well, video game movies are the fat kid, okay? It's like, oh, you did 10. That's great. You're awesome. That's basically how it is with the video game movies. It's like, look, you're the fat kid. You did 10. Excellent. You did 10 laps. Oh, that's cool. You're not terrible.
Yeah, but after Transformers Bumblebee and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I thought people were expecting more from video game based movies.
No,
because the Bumblebee movie was actually was far superior than the Bayformers movies.
Yeah, but none of those. Yeah, but none of those.
And Spider-Verse being Sony Animated Studios' breakout film after their mediocre films like the Emoji Movie or the Dragon Ball Transylvania sequels.
Yeah, but none of those are actually based off of.
Because people were expecting Detective Pikachu to be the video game movies equivalent to Into the Spider-Verse and Bumblebee.
Yeah, but that's unrealistic, and not to mention that none of those are video game movies. Like Into the Spider-Verse is not a video game movie.
It's more of a comic movie.
It's a comic book movie. It's not a video game movie.
And
And
for a Sony movie, for an animated Sony movie, it's actually a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, but that's still not a video game movie though. I mean, it's, we're talking strictly video game movies. So in terms of video game movies in that category, it's pretty good. I mean, it's better than World of Warcraft. It's better. It's probably going to be better than Sonic, even though Sonic has Jim Carrey doing.
To come out.
He's channeling the Mask or his character from In Living Color, and I'm loving it. Listen, that's pretty damn good in my humble opinion. That's much better than it's been in a while. It's better than all of those damn Resident Evil movies. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm pretty sure they'll agree with you on that part.
Those movies are terrible. Oh God, they're bad. I mean, the first one, here's the thing. The first one, had they just a generic horror movie, PG-13 horror movie, I probably would have been like, okay. But the fact that they tried to tie that shit into Resident Evil, and literally it has fucking nothing to do with Resident Evil, and the director's wife is the main character. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, Mia Jovovich is getting old. I would say she used to be hot, but it's been a long time since The Fifth Element and Return to the Blue Lagoon. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. And Mia Jovovich is not hot anymore. But yeah, I don't know, man. No, Detective Pikachu is pretty good. Has it beaten the video game movie curse? I think it has, because people relatively like it. It's making money. It's doing better than most other video game movies, because most video game movies fucking fail. They're financial flops, and they get bad critical reception. They get panned by the critics. This movie has made money, and it's not being savaged by the critics. Now, you'd have to be a fan to really enjoy it, because there was some shit happening in that movie where I was like, I didn't get it. I don't know what's going on.
That's what the critics were saying for Detective Pikachu. That's why it got to 66%.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be a fan. And I mean, I will agree. The third act of the film just kind of falls apart because it just hits a brick wall. But if you can get past that, But yeah, Detective Pikachu, yes. Has it beaten the video game movie curse? Yes, it has. In my opinion. It's better. It's better than most other video game movies. In my humble opinion, it's better than, say, well, actually, yeah, most of them. It's better than most of them in memory. It's better than even the movie. It's better than the video game movie that was inspired by video games, but not directly. Pixels. It's better than Pixels.
Highly better than Pixels.
Hell, it's better. It's better than a lot of other. It's better than the animated Pokemon movies, in my opinion. At least I didn't have to. At least in this movie, I didn't have to deal with a character dying and then Pikachu crying and all the Pokemon stopping in the middle of the fight to cry about some character dying, who most of them would not give a shit about anyway. So it's already doing better, So there you go. Is it better? Yes. Is it the best movie ever? Hell no. You can't expect it to be the best movie ever when it's not,
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting it to be one of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
After Bumblebee and Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but those aren't video game movies. Bumblebee is a spin-off of a toy line movie, so it's really designed to sell toys. And
Yeah,
Spider-Man's always been popular. You don't believe me? Even the shitty Sony
The
Spider-Man
Homecoming.
movies made money. No, even the shitty Spider-Man movies made money. Spider-Man 3 made money. Amazing Spider-Man 2 made money. Those aren't good Spider-Man movies, but they made money. So, I mean, Spider-Man's
I
like.
wasn't thinking about the money. I was thinking about the critical receptions.
Look, man, look, listen. Critical reception is fine and dandy, but it doesn't mean shit when it comes to money. Because Michael Bay's Transformers films are trash, critically speaking, but they make money. Well, they did until that last movie where even the Chinese people were like, man, fuck this. You know, when China, with all their CGI special effects loving, you're like, this is some bullshit. You know your movie sucks. It's got to be pretty damn bad when China's like, nah, I'm okay, bro. I don't need this shit. And I know people are going to get angry because, you know, how dare you not like Michael Bay's Transformers? I've never liked that movie. And I say that as a Transformers fan. I grew up with Transformers. All right? And I hate Michael Bay's Transformer films. They're terrible. They're trash. Okay, then. So that's the end of the podcast. Remember, you can rate, comment, share, subscribe. Konami's been fucking up. Capcom's been fucking up big this week. Nintendo, you guys had a successful Direct. I mean, I'm not interested in Mario Maker 2, but for those people that are, this is going to scratch that itch for you guys. That being said, in the podcast, remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun jazz. See what else. You can reach me on mrredfoxbsbusters@gmail.com on Google, on Gmail, or you can reach me at Twitter at Matthew Wesley. That's capital M, Matthew, 2 T's, HEW, space WESLEY, capital W, at mrredfox91 on Twitter. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Weister20 has a comment. Rotten Tomatoes isn't the end-all, be-all, Pinky.
All right.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Rotten Tomatoes is a nice way to say that a movie that the certain amount of people who actually bothered to go watch that movie thought it was good. But there are movies that Rotten Tomato pans that are actually not that bad. And there are movies that Rotten Tomato lauds that actually are kind of shit. So, you know, you can't use a metric system like that to determine if something's good or not. At the end of the day, you gotta make your own decisions about it. Anyway, that's in the podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe, and peace.
And hype responsibly.